What's up, and welcome back to Beat Goblin. If you spend any time on music production and beat making YouTube, you might have run into L.Dre, lo-fi producer extraordinaire, and he recently-ish released a sample pack called Moonlight, which is a bunch of like melody loops that are meant to be flipped into lo-fi beats. So I picked that up and I've really been vibing on it lately. So today I just want to walk you through and show you some beats that I've made by flipping his samples. I'm going to provide some beat making tips in this video, but if you want even more, be sure to check out the video on my main channel that I also released today. I'll link it at the end of this video. So let's start off with the beat that you heard in the intro with just a very quick walkthrough. First of all, I've got some drums that are actually from another beat making YouTuber, Ramzoid. And I've got a second track with just some hi-hat rolls with some pitch automation and some little fill drums. And for reference, I've got the MPC 60 plugin on my entire drum bus. Subtle, but it adds a bit of extra grit and saturation. Then, after making the drums, I just started pulling in samples from the Moonlight pack and settled on this one. I chopped it up and ended up with this chop. So the sample originally is doing this kind of waltz time thing. So I've basically 4/4-ified it. And you'll notice I've also time stretched it a bit. And that's on a sample by sample basis as needed. So then we get this. Like that, played with the drums. It still kind of keeps its groove intact and it still feels like a waltz, but I like the way it rides over the top of the drums. It's a cool vibe. And on this entire bus, here's what the original sounds like. And here's what I've done to it. So let me go through each plugin individually. Reverb, EQ, cutting some lows, bringing out some upper mids, SP1200, and Ducker. Up next, 808. Pretty straightforward, and some other synthy elements. And these are both key groups from my MPC key group pack, which is $5. The link is in the description. I've made a bunch of patches on a bunch of hardware synths and then multi-sampled them into the MPC, which give you some really nice patches to work with. So that's link in the description, $5, helps out the channel, and the WAV files are provided as well, so if you're not an MPC user, you could still get some use out of them. Regardless, here is a fully arranged version of this beat, and then we'll move on to a few more. Up next, this is using the kettle sample, and I'm going to play the full beat first, and then I'll talk you through it. Like with the first beat, I started with the drums. And I've got this hi-hat with a built-in delay just built into the sample. So we've established our groove. Now we chop our sample. And it loops pretty cleanly, and I've made some time stretch adjustments to just a couple of these chops to get it to fit in the pocket established by the drums just a little bit more. And I've processed this bus quite a bit, so let me get rid of all the processing. It's fairly clean as is, which is fine, but I really wanted to go super lo-fi with this one. So first of all, again, reverb first. SP1200 emulator. And then the built-in lo-fi plugin at a super subtle mix. So it's essentially bit crushing it a bit, but I wanted to keep that fairly subtle, and I probably even went a bit far with it as is. Sidechain. And this is the hype synth with the preset electro kick sub bass, and I think I've modified it a little bit. Just following the sample. Also sidechain to the kick. And then I have a second sample chop, as you heard. I really like how those little flute stabs fit with those extra snares. Just merges together, creates these little flams that I really like. Finally, here are a couple more beats using other loops from that L.Dre Moonlight pack. Enjoy! And those are the beats. If you'd like to see more general lo-fi production tips, check out the video that I dropped at the same time as this one on my main channel. And if you'd like to see me shamelessly try to get clicks by putting more fellow YouTubers' faces in the thumbnail, you can check out this video down over here. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll be back with a new video in a little bit.